Now we have the most important part of the grader to look at, the turning circle, the moldboard and the drawbar. And up here in the front, Mohammed, we have the drawbar and the drawbar ball stud joint. What can you tell us about them?
Well, it's very important first of all to explain that the drawbar should stay as much as possible parallel to the ground. And the ball stud here, it provides this flexibility of movement. The ball stud is fitted by a split flange and has some shims for further maintenance if a play develops during the usage of the grader. The ball stud is also offset to the center of this drawbar, and it's easy to replace it because it is bolted. If a change in the tire size is necessary, it's very easy to rotate the ball stud and have it fixed quickly. No need to cut or no need to weld as many competitor does. And finally, you have to notice that the drawbar have a T-shape, which give her a very good rigidity and also allows the operator to have a good visibility to the front axle and to the mid-mounted attachment.
We see that the drawbar is pulling and carrying this turning circle and the moldboard. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, I want to explain about the unique turning circle system that SDLG uses. 2 hydraulic cylinders, which are more efficient than hydraulic motors, are providing instant and full torque for rotating the moldboard. And 2 pinions are dividing the load over a greater number of teeth, and that will provide a prolonged service life for the system.
Mohammed, I see here that we have our teeth on the outside of the ring, whilst most competitors have them inside. Why is that?
Well, for that we have 2 reasons. First is to keep the teeth far from the material to reduce wear and tear, which is very good for the maintenance and for the cost side. But there is one more important thing, and I would like to explain it in a very simple way. You imagine that in your car you change the steering wheel and you put smaller one, and it takes from you a lot of effort to turn the steering. But when you have a larger steering wheel, it's much easier to turn your wheels. Here we have the same. The larger diameter we have and the rings are outside, the easier it is to rotate the moldboard. And that's my simple way to explain it.
Does our turning circle need any greasing?
Well, thanks for this question, Henrik. And here I have to mention that the bearings that are used in the tree supporting, guiding and clamping shoes on our turning circle does not require any greasing because they are made of material with low friction coefficient, which means less daily greasing and less maintenance over time.
We have our lift cylinders, but why are they painted grey?
Well, that's a good question. We paint them grey is to reduce the glare that might come to the operator eyes when the sun is hitting these lift cylinders. But I want to explain more important thing about. Look at the wide stance we have between these 2 cylinders and the parallel position. That's very important for grader operation, where you don't need to do overcorrection of the blade position when you are grading. Plus, I want you to pay attention to this blade arm lift and how it is massive and cast iron to provide flexibility for moving the moldboard to any position that the operator will require to do. And one of the important things that also this blade lift arm does not require any maintenance.
We see here that the moldboard is centered under the machine. Is that the only position we can have it in?
No, not at all, because the turning circle and the moldboard have a wide range of mobility and they can be placed from 90 degrees to the right up to 90 degrees to the left. With the help of these low angle side shift cylinders, we can position the blade at any angle that the operator will require to do. 7 position will provide this flexible mobile position. The locking mechanism of the side shift cylinder is hydraulically activated by flipping a switch in the cab.
When do we need all these positions?
Well, we know that the grader have a very wide application range to be used for, and one of them will be doing shaping or profiling, embankments or different surfaces, and that's why you need a big range of mobility in the moldboard.
So, does SDLG offer different size moldboards?
Yes, of course. SDLG can offer, and depending on the application, 12, 13 and 14 foot blade. The moldboard or the blade is equipped with several functions like tilting and side shifting. The tilting mechanism is linked to 2 hydraulic cylinders, and the side shifting is providing movement to the left and to the right. Please pay attention to the bearings of slide shifting. The upper bearing is well protected against material and debris that might fall in and damage the bearings. The bottom one is also bolted, and it's easy to replace in a matter of minutes without necessity to remove the moldboard.
Talking about moldboard, are there any options that we should take into consideration?
Yes, of course, we have a blade floating option to offer for the moldboard to help the operator perform a better job without any problems. But also we have very interesting options to add to the machine when it comes to shock absorbing. We have hydraulic accumulator for turning cylinders, turn circle cylinders, and we have hydraulic accumulator for blade lift cylinders.